Check 1 2 1 2. Dosi con leche. Ladies and gentlemen, the one, the only crypto idiot in the world. Welcome, Road Dog.
For those of you that have hit my like button, I just want to say thank you very much.
Welcome everyone to Late Night Crypto with the Road Dog. Taking a look at the charts here on the little 6 minute. Got a little pump up on Bitcoin. Confidently above the 200 moving average and above the 9 moving average, and everything just looks groovy. Here on this particular time frame, got a nice little trend line established right there that we will follow. And until that breaks, everything is just juicy and it could even go higher. When we zoom out, and that's where it really counts, let me get rid of these lines so we can actually see what we're looking at. Here on the daily. So my thumbnail, my title for the show is Bitcoin in Trouble? And I got a question about something because I realized something today. Now, we've had Fish Guru pop up in the chat, and he's been talking about tether dominance, and I took a long hard look at that chart today and I zoomed out on it. And I mean, there's some interesting things to take notice there and probably discuss, because I'm not sure if I'm going to be using that chart anymore. I don't know if it's going to be an accurate predictor. But then again, on the scary side, what if it is? Because it doesn't have really great news for crypto in general right now, if I'm reading it correctly. So, was this inverted head and shoulders to the upside? A bottom reversal pattern happening? It might be, dude, but if you zoom out, man, you got one of these dang megaphone patterns. And this particular megaphone pattern, she's got a little slant to the downside. I guess it depends on if you're going to obey the original trend line there. The original trend line was here. This one has a 70% chance of breaking to the upside. Well, if you want to go with the head and shoulders pattern, feel free to go right ahead. Just know that I usually look for those on bottoms and not at tops. But still, you get a measure move, and so it's hard to tell somebody that. I mean, if you tell them no, but the measure move played out. Well, yeah, that's just the same for the same for the other pattern too. And if we ever get a breakout and have to adjust this little guy, anticipating on that measure move breakout. Could that be it? Could that be it? 85,003, just keep growing every day, but you're still never getting there, Bitcoin. What's up with that, man? I don't want to see these numbers. I don't want to talk about the numbers. I want to see these numbers. Show me the money, Bitcoin. Show me the money. Let it be a head and shoulders. An inverted head and shoulders. I don't care. Call it Gumby, damn it. I'm Gumby, damn it. Whee! Have some fun with it. It's just as bad as having a head and shoulders at a bottom. That's just one of my little pet peeves. Don't you just see these play out at the bottoms? And, oh my gosh, does that mean that it won't play out at the top? That's a good question to have, I think. But just a thought. Not trying to be a downer. Actually, you know, we're up here at the resistance area, so a lot of people might be looking to take some shorts at these areas. We got to get above 73,000. Not quite there yet. We're hanging around 71,220, 218, which is kind of cool. I like that. I'm going to get rid of some of these guys so we can see what we're talking about, because I don't know, they're just in my way and being dang annoying. So let's take these guys. And trendline theory, well, we got a nice little zone, and you can expand it up a little bit too. I mean, it could come up all the way up to here. I'm on the daily chart. But we got a new little trend line that could be offer some strong resistance here over the next few candles. About 73,000. If we can get past whatever, I'm not even looking at that. What is that? We're past that. I don't even care about that anymore. Take her off. But what we can do and pay attention to, and if you're in the day trade or interested in taking shorts, your short opportunity would be coming soon if we can draw it right here. Come on, baby. You're not quite what I was trying to put here. Oh, template. So it's kind of like a little short zone that we can come up to, hopefully. Or not, and if we get past it, then everything's good, but are we going to get past it? And I can't say, I don't know. My overall thesis is that, yeah, we should be able to. Got a little confidence for this area over here, about 85, 90,000, though, if we follow this trend line. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, that trend line lines up pretty well. Not as well that way, does it? It does here, yeah. That's also will be a nice little area in case we do get a bump down to kind of look at. Those areas would be around 60,000. If this is the channel that we have broke back into and respect that we've been bounced off before during the last bull market, and definitely could play true here. I kind of like this idea, so I'm going to thicken this little guy up and just kind of hang on to that idea for a while. Lock it in. Lock it in. What I've been wondering about, and let's take a quick look over here at our indices, right? Now, Total 3 has got a nice little breakout and going to the upside. That's what we want to see. Altcoins should get a nice little boost. And we established a trend line here, so we can see where some possible resistance should be coming out of these altcoins. So, but we should be able to get another 20 billion coming in, and that's kind of nice. Now, I am looking for places to pay myself, so that's why I'm doing. I don't know if we're going to get all the way up here or break out of this. You know, it's technically a bearish pattern we got here. But we've seen them break to the upside and go freaking parabolic. It might have that. Look, inverted head and shoulders on the upside. It's pulling it up, it's probably not. I was just saying, keep it real. My question about tether dominance, though, let's take a look at this. You probably need to look at this. USDT dominance. Perhaps maybe it wasn't the dominance. But there's something very, very interesting here. If you look at this on the weekly, now I know there's this trend line that we got going on, right? I think I was looking on the daily, a week will work. Respecting that trend line, right, bounces off the top. It's just been in a crazy megaphone pattern, and you know, we seem to have a lot of those on the channel lately. But we're coming down to retest this area. Now, the last time that we were at this area, can we draw a V? What I'd really like to do is superimpose Bitcoin over here. What was that? What the hell is this? Yeah, I don't think that's gonna work. Well, that's not working out good for me. All right, so we'll stick with this idea. All right, so mark when it was down at the bottoms. That'd be Alt V for that vertical line there. We got kind of a little range here. I don't know how to do that. But no, I'm not trying to, I gotta. And then she was peeking out over here in these areas, right? Now, this will make you second guess things, or make me second guess things. Let's see, this one was one of the last ones here. All right, so look at the dates that we got on here. When it was at the bottoms down here, this is February, March, April 2021. This is when we had the bull run. So now it's interesting to note here that we stayed on the bottom here for the large part of that run up on Bitcoin. Now I've just now realized that on looking at this, so that's interesting I find, because back in 2021 that started in around, well, it really started in November, really started taking off around January and February, and that's when we started actually touching the bottom of this trend line then, right? And when we started breaking away from it, that's when we peaked, and then we fell, and that's when price dropped in Bitcoin. Then Bitcoin rose to its second peak in November, when this one also touched on November 8th when it touched the line. Then we started our downward trend as this started rising. Now over here was June 20. I don't know what's going on in June. We can take a look at Bitcoin. I do know that in January 2023, it was like the right at the 1st of January. That's when I made the video where I was starting to see, I was seeing the, I was calling for the move up, possible the move from the bottom. So I remember doing that video and putting that out, and it wasn't based on this chart. I just remembered that. And that's when it was in January when we started, when things turned around. Our bottom was, well, it was later confirmed, but that's when the turnaround was. But this is what happened. We bounced off the top, and that's when Bitcoin started taking off. And, you know, she went up a little bit, went sideways a little bit, and, you know, as this went up. And then over here, what was this, September, October? Where was this? October 2023. That was later. And before it started falling here is actually when we started getting our other rise in Bitcoin. And here we were bouncing off the bottom. Now, this was March, the week of March 11th. We'd have to check on that. The first week of March, when she actually touched down here. But we bounced up, and now we're coming back down. So my question is, this is kind of weird, but all the Bitcoin tops have been confirmed when we left this area. And all the bottoms have been over here. So what does that mean for this market cycle now? But first, before, you know, I mean, that's an interesting thought, but then there's some other variables that I think we have to include in on this concept or this theory or this idea. Now, used to, we just had Tether as a stable coin, right? Before that was just Bitcoin pairs back in the day. And then we had Tether stablecoin. And a lot of people did go by Tether dominance and keeping up with Tether and its variations and things like that for demand to help gauge the market, and that was valid. But now we got some other stable coins. We got USDC, and I'll put up their chart too, and it's just as bad. I mean, it's all the way at the bottom too. So I can't say that that's everything, but what I'm wondering is if what we're seeing, the effect that we're seeing in stable coins, one, they're kind of toughening up on stable coins, but two, with the ETF, see, stable coins were for all of us coming in, like onboarding through Coinbase or whatever. We're taking stable coins, taking our profits in stable coins. Now that we got this ETF stuff out, now the majority of that's coming into this, which will be more of the mass majority right now than the legacy market. And that's where the big money's coming in, that will be coming into crypto or Bitcoin through the ETFs. Could it be that they're just buying with straight cash and dollar? I mean, it's not like they're having to go transfer all the money to CoinEx or KuCoin. I mean, I know they work through Coinbase, but you know, they can work straight through banks and do dollars. So I wonder what, consider that effect in this market too. So it's not going to be as stablecoin dominant as it possibly could have been or expected to be, but I do find it interesting that these are top signals. Now I want to go back and see what happened with Bitcoin on March 11th and March 8th to March 11th. That was this day. That's when we topped, or that week. This is on the week of candles. That's when we got the high that we're trying to get back to now. Now, if I'm reading that chart right, with Tether dominance, if it's still applicable, I'd like to get some other people's opinion on that. Your opinion would be helpful. And I don't know if Joe's in here. I'd like to see what Joe would think about that idea. But we came up and we got rejected here at the 200 moving average. Now look at these moving averages, man. I mean, this is, it's cool. We got the 100 above there, so we can see that we can come here and bounce. But when we bounce is when Bitcoin's going down, and that's not so cool. So I'm looking at these moving, and I mean, there's one of two things that's going to happen here. Well, one of three things. There's only three things our market can do, but let's talk about each one. What would that mean? If we come on back down, this is what I'm looking at. And this is on a weekly, so maybe in the next few weeks we can get another drop down on this. Now that would push our Bitcoin price higher up, or it should. And if I get to the chart that I was looking here on Bitcoin, and might that be what would take us up to, could we come up here? I'm looking at a trend line, and there's several variations that we can go with, and this is pretty solid here on the weekly. But I wonder, maybe we get that one more push up, we get that third hump and a dump. I'm wondering. I'm seeing signs that we may be getting a, not yet, but you know, that bigger pullback. So I'm going to be very cautious around 80,000 and anywhere through there. I'm going to clear this off a little bit and study it a little bit more, and definitely pay more attention to some fib levels. But that's just something to look at and to be concerned about, I think, with tether dominance. So that was the one situation that can happen. Now, what would happen if we broke that, though? I mean, this is... Let me get these guys off here. This megaphone pattern is a bearish pattern. They are supposed to break to the downside. Eventually they do. So, and the breakdown is not that bad. Have I already fit this out? Is this a different one than I was looking at? Well, anyway. Looks like I already fibbed her out. Okay, or did something. Let's measure me. I don't remember doing that. So the other option is to sit here and go sideways, which could lead to even stronger pricing out of Bitcoin, because that's what we saw back here in this area. We touched it, and then, you know, that was February, and we topped out in April, or, you know, right before May, right through there. So we had a nice little run where we stayed down here at this bottom area, and Bitcoin price just went crazy. We've got a good chance, as far as I can see, to do one of those two and eventually bounce back up. And with the 100 moving average being over here, I would think that would give us a little bit of a bounce up a little bit before maybe coming back down for another top, or maybe this will have maybe we might have two tops in this cycle on a hopeful situation. But our other scenario is what if this doesn't hold and it falls? Then what happens? I mean, we're talking about tether dominance and nobody wanting tether. So is that something going against tether itself? Could that make that could make that happen? Regulation against tether, stable coins, or something like that. That could be a scenario that could play to that breaking. What would that mean for Bitcoin, though? That's what I'm not clear about. I mean, normally if that would happen, I would say since price comes down and Bitcoin goes up, if we broke down here, would that just send Bitcoin to the freaking moon? Or would that be a problem? Which, I mean, I don't have answers for these things, but I just find it interesting. But it's telling me that we are at a top area, though, for Bitcoin dominance. And I think this is what Fish Guru was alluding to in his comments there. I just haven't really pulled it up on the bigger scale to really think about it. So shout out to Fish Guru. I don't know if that's what he's saying, but this is what he made me think about, and I think it's an important thing to talk about. So I'm going to watch that very closely. But now, the more I look at it with the moving average and how I would normally look at this, I would expect some kind of a bounce here, a pullback, and then a retest of it. And so to me, that could lead to a possible double top scenario for Bitcoin, like what we had over here. So my question is, if that's what we get up in these juicy areas, are you ready for a nice 40% pullback? Because that sucked. That was scary as all hell back here. I'm not gonna lie, man. And everybody's saying we're coming back to $3,000. Bitcoin's going to zero. All that stuff going on. Our hope was this freaking falling wedge, which played out. But I mean, it wasn't fun. And you know, there were some signs, and of course, all the bears always calling tops. I mean, you got some of them that were shorting from all the way down here. And I think they're still shorting. So crazy predicament. Let's move some of these things over. So from that idea, so what I'm doing, what I normally do, and as well as it works for me, I want to respect some fibs. I actually want to just clean all this. I just want to go by this. I want all this stuff out. Oh crap! What'd you do? You killed it. You killed it again. Dang it, Road Dog. Third time's a charm. Dang it. Screw you, man. Delete you. All right, check to make sure I didn't screw up my thing. Okay, swing high to swing low. Tell me where price is gonna go. And maybe my fib levels that I would look for. Well, let me do one other thing first. Swing low, swing high. Tell me where I need to buy a 786er. That's what I wanted to see. She gave us a good old 786er. So I would do this on anything for targets. This shouldn't be any different. I'm even going to take this one. Should I take that one off? I want to dash ya. So if I were to make any kind of call for Bitcoin, especially for an important call, keeping me at 10 when you're 2. I can't help but feel sympathetic. I do. You think you're bad, boy. I'll mark you, but I don't see you playing out just yet. So I got a Fibonacci, which should, if we're going to make a higher high one we made over here and get rejected, 76, 321, and that was, I got, what is it actually? 75,826 is what I got. It'll tighten up that, baby. And then a possible higher target that it can reach based on the ratios of the Fibonacci magic and all that good stuff. I mean, these are measure moves. I'm gonna screw the measure moves right now. I'm not gonna worry about measure moves for that stuff. The 83,140. So might we come up to 75 rejection or not, or possibly even come up to 83 and finally break this trend line, and then get a bigger correction? And I would say, yeah, I'm kind of looking at that idea, and I've been looking at an idea for a pullback, but I think it's being a little bit more solid now, or as an idea. Because as much as we'd like for Bitcoin to go on forever, she might just not. Now, if we just come up to 75 and then get a steeper pullback, which could happen, Ichimoku class starting to thicken up, but we're not yet quite close enough to it. So we're probably months away from what I'm getting at here, but I'm seeing these possibilities. We also know that usually a lot of times when the 100 crosses the 200, sometimes price will take a dump there. So from here to a pullback area, I mean, technically you could come all the way back to 38. I don't see that happening. I say move maybe to 52 or 61. I can't really see the 61,000 holding because normally that you don't get a bounce from there. If you do, it's really strong. Could happen, but maybe not. But now if we come up to 83, we get a little bit of a better spread there, I think. Pull back to about 58. That sounds very reasonable. That's actually kind of confluence with this area over here, just right around that area. 57,000 is technically what I got on that pull. We can't confirm this till we actually get a high. I'm just kind of speculating now. So that would be maybe interesting. We also got this channel over here that this is where it pulled back last time, so we could follow that idea too if price were to come up here and pull back. But she could come all the way up to the top of the channel pullback. I mean, I don't know. There is a fib up here that matches confluence up there, so I don't want to lose that out. That is 91. follow this trend line and how it respects it, this is possible. I just don't see the signs of it yet. So, but these are some of the major ideas that I'm kind of looking at. And again, it's all about these trend lines too. This was the major one, and then we deviated from it a little bit. And we might get one more really good push to the upside. I would probably say that if it were to happen and we break out of, well, it's pretty much just a horizontal line right now, but break out of this area that we're struggling with, I would expect one good candle to go up there and touch that and probably have a nice big sell wick. So maybe some limited orders or something like that, and I think it will be hard to catch that one up here if it tries to do it. Just some ideas that I'm looking at here. Thought I'd share with you guys. Let's go talk to you guys and then get into our altcoins. I want to show you one that's kind of piqued my interest. It's been doing good for me. A little meme coin. We got Strega in the house. We got Mr. Miles. Yo, Diggity Dog. Sam Webb. How's it going? Brackets Adventures. There's Celinda. Hi, dog. How much do you think Casper will retrace before the next run? We'll look at that. Let me I know it's on my list here, but I want to. Oh man, I meant to put a poll out. Did he just make a Gumby reference? It's official. Road Dogg is usually 70 years old. They'll get another 20 billion going into cash alone for the entire altcoin market. We'll see a lot more than that, says Mr. Miles. Crypto 420 says, let's go. I just realized he's doing Tether market cap, not diamond. Yeah, I was like, yeah, the Tether thing's got me kind of concerned. ETFs will throw off the old charts patterns out of whack. Who knows how much, but important factors. Yeah, that's what I'm wondering. But you know, like I said, USDC, the chart looks even worse. I mean, it's down at the bottom, but this is at a point where something happens traditionally, so. I should have waited another minute. You covered ETF. Oh, okay. Well, I'm way behind on this chat, aren't I? Mr. Miles, or am I reading your mind? Oh my God, it's finally happened. I'm telepathic. We got the same cognitive processes. They just didn't, well, no, similar ones. Not exactly the same. They're just in a little bit of a different order. You're an INTJ and I'm an INFJ. And at heart, I'm extremely introverted. I have a fear of talking on the phone. I used to work for the phone company. I think that's what kicked it off. After I worked for the phone company, it's crazy. I go text on them or do everything, but you put me on here to have a conversation, it's like, unless it's a business call. Go figure. Call for pizza. Okay, give me 15 minutes to get ready. Hello, Domino's. Domino's, can I help you? Hello. Yes. Oh, darn it. I'm trying again in 30 minutes. It's not that bad, but I still can't feel that way. Hey, man, when I worked for the phone company, I was an operator, 401 operator, an information operator, and a long distance operator for Bell's, not for Bell South, for GTE, General Telephone. Oh God, you're going to age me. You're going to date me now, aren't you? Put a number with me. This was back in the day. You know, they showed me, this was way back in the day. This was pre-internet days. In my orientation video, they were already showing me a presentation of futuristic, what they were planning, or on the back drawer, whatever. It was the internet with the Zoom calls like we got now and all this other stuff. Online shopping like Amazon. It was crazy, and I was like, "What's so cool? But how is that ever going to happen?" The fiber optic. I'm not going to go back that far, but it was pretty cool because that was about that was a long time before we actually. It wasn't too long before we got internet. No, it wasn't too far off when we got it, but they had a vision port that was spot on. Anyway, I digress. But I got to see how easy it was to interrupt a phone call because I used to have to call and interrupt phone calls. Hello, this is the operator calling. We have an emergency request to phone call to interrupt this line, blah, 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 whatever the spiel was. But, man, you interrupt a phone call, they don't know you're on there, and the things you hear when you're trying to wait for the pause to come in, and I mean, it's just, it showed me just how easy it was at a push of a button that your privacy was gone on the telephone. And so I've been paranoid ever since with phones, but just, it's not like these are any better. It's not like texting is any better. Oh no, they'll never see that text. So it's some kind of weird psychological thing. I got it. That shell shocked me, man. I saw that. It's that easy. All right, so let's take a look at Casper, shall we? Looking at Casper on MexC. I'm gonna look at it on a different one because this one I always want to see a fresh chart somewhere. Well, which one are we going with? This one's cleaner. I like this one better than I do the other one. So I'm gonna race. This one's got the angel on it though. I'm gonna race this one. All right, Casper. So I'm here on the weekly. 9 below the 21. That's interesting. Yet price is just so dramatically away from it. Crazy move there. She's not really showing any signs of wanting to stop here on the weekly. Man, that momentum wave is just, I mean, it's just getting started. I mean, we're looking for the start of whatever this might be, something like this again. Or even if it's just one little, you know, stochastics going. There's always that chance that maybe she'll just come up to around this level for momentum we move, but on the weekly, man, there's a lot of room for that to happen. So that's interesting. Casper was actually looking really, really strong to me. On the weekly, it looks like that we're about ready to get a possible cross, a bullish cross on our MACD and go bullish on our histogram, start getting into the blue. That would be good. I would like that. I don't want it to duck lip to the downside, which could happen, but and the 9 below that leads to that theory too, but we could also just let it cross. And when it does cross over that 21 on this particular time frame, I think it'll be pretty amazing. 5 days, a little front runner of that and getting closer to cross there. 3 days, she has crossed. So a possible idea of how those will play out on those bigger time frames as well. So a pullback for her, huh? I don't think we've actually topped out yet. So let me do this a couple of different ways here. Well, we'll go ahead and get Elliot's take since he knows everything. Elliot seems to think that they don't ever know. You can go to any of those fib areas, 382.5, 618, technically lower. But we're looking for an ABC for Elliot wave to satisfy him on one of his theories. But this ain't about 15.8 cents. Let's see what. I'm going to spend a little time here on gas because I want to know.
Echoes remain. You were the sunrise, and I was the rain. A collision of souls, opposing in flight. I was the darkness, you yearned for the light. Now you gone.
Beautiful 618. 886, and you went there. So I would expect her to get a pullback here from that deeper retracement. this should be kind of the upper limit that we should look at right now for this particular move. It should be. So by my fib strategy, my fib method, or whatever you want to call it, that's what I come up with for that. That's at 20, just a little over 20 cents. I don't see it getting up to 21 just yet on this particular, but it might. I mean, if we go by trend lines, then we might have something. And I'm not sure that this one is going to stick over here as well. It might, yeah. From wick to body, that one does. I'm just looking for a little bit of confluence here. See if we can make sure that we're getting the right angles. Huh, that was interesting. But it doesn't work so much. Not so much that way. I'm going to stick with this little guy right here. About 20.11 cents, where she should get rejected. And then after we get that, after we actually figure that out, I'm on a 3-day chart here too, so it's not going to be as easy to spot it. Smaller time frame may give us the sign we're looking for, but if she can't come up, if that's where she does top out up there, then I would look for, yeah, pull back to about 14 cents or 15.2 right here in this area. Non-moving average is also coming up there, so that's another good little indicator. So I feel fun if I draw it right now, because I can draw it, yeah, and do it in white. If I got a white line, then that clues me that it's probably something temporary. So I can do that as so on the plus side, let's see, we're on the 12-hour and got the golden cross happening, so that's a buy signal. 100 needs to follow it though for us to really get any strong movement. On the daily, the 100 is in place, and that's good, and it's getting ready to get that buy signal, so that could signal another pump and definitely get us up to here. Will we go past that? I'm not expecting it, but I'm not saying that it can't happen. But just based on the ratios that I work with the fibs, that 1.1, that 113 area for that deep of retracement should be right. It should be exhausted by the time it gets there. And let's see how things look over here. Wave tables are definitely up at the tops. So, I'm curious to see how this plays out. But yeah, if she does get rejected there, I would be looking for about 15.2 cents, or maybe even down to maybe back down to the 14 cents area. And it may just wig back down there. So I like that. Now, if we're looking at trend lines, especially here on a bigger time frame, we got a channel idea, but doesn't necessarily mean that the top line will hold if it comes back to retest it. That idea could put us, if we come back sharply, which, you know, we probably, yeah, okay, we're already starting to try a retracement. I don't think this one's going to take just yet. I think it's still got wiggle room. Yeah, it hadn't met its trend line there. It broke whatever it was trying to do here on that one. So it looks like it will come back to the 21 moving average area short term. And 21 moving average is coming in right now at 16.8, so we're around 17 and up. And I've actually got some limit orders set because I took some profit and sold some down here. So this is what I kind of see short term, with the possibility coming up here, and then I would expect a bigger rejection. If we don't get it, then and pop outside of that red line, then that could be bullish as all get out, and Mr. Mileage, you might see your 25-cent Caspa come up sooner than expected if that happens. But then after that, I could see a retracement back down to these areas. So. And that would line up right around with the 200 moving average by that time too, so that all kind of clicks and makes sense in my head. Cospa. I think that's pretty much got it. You killed the angel. I have no response for that. She just got deleted. We'll have to find a sexy angel picture to put up there for Caspa. Mr. Miles says Cas is still far from its all-time high charted against BTC. I hope it makes up that difference. That would be awesome. If you chart against Bitcoin, or Bitcoin use CoinEx and not KuCoin. Let's see what it looks like against Bitcoin. You should really try this against every coin that you have, because if it's not outperforming Bitcoin, you're kind of spinning your wheels. I mean, for real. Because the whole game is to outperform Bitcoin if you can with these altcoins. Otherwise, well, you're just playing it for fun. So let's go with the CoinEx chart. And so since down here, since the beginning of May, that's when she kind of bottomed out. A good area right there that she's been starting to outperform Bitcoin, so that's cool. Last November 2023, she got up to how many are they giving me 10 digits? It got to up to 448 Satoshis, and right now she's sitting at, is there a way I can change that? I would love to change that. It throws me off when they put extra zeros on there. It really messes me up. Right now she's hanging out at 255 Satoshis. I like that. That reminds me of the days I used to look for coins that were in that range to try to play. But we got about 287 Satoshis as being a possible top point for her if she continues up on the daily chart. It's like she's really trying to. Have you actually reclaimed it? So far, it looks like she's reclaimed the 200 moving average, so we got that going for us. That's a good thing. She can hold that, then let's go get that 287 Satoshis. Maybe go a little higher, touch the top of that trend line, break out of that trend line. This is a falling channel, and they are bullish. They normally break to the upside, so that's cool. And you can take a measured move on that. Get a general idea about where that might happen, depending on where it breaks out of. We're going to kind of assume maybe it happens here. And that could go up to 455 Satoshis per Caspa, so that's not bad. Be doubling up 2 extra Bitcoin by Caspa that way. I think Mr. Miles would be hard pressed to sell Caspa for Bitcoin, though. I'm just saying, it's the feeling I get. I expect 25% Caspa this month. I hope we get it, Mr. Miles. The question is, are you gonna take profit? Are you gonna sell anything there? Or what are you gonna do when it gets there? Mr. Miles says Super Bull flag. What's she doing on the 2 hour? That's good. That's a good sign right there, holding this trend line. That's where she started. She got away from it, so remember, price starts taking off and you're like, I don't know when to take profits, man. Trendline be your best friend. I know it just nailed the top, but that's a good thing. So if you employ the strategy and make this comment, you got a place where you can sell when you break out. And so let's say it keeps going up. Well, she'll usually top out against this trend line somewhere. So if you touch that trend line again, you could probably try to take some profits again whenever she touches you. Narrowed it up a little bit. I'm just throwing out some ideas here. So anyway, retest. That would be enough. You can sell a little here, and then if it touches it, sell a little there, and then you can see. You can't say that they're all going to do this, but see how that level, it just was never broken through until way over here. But the rule of that game, if you're playing that strategy, is you're looking for the next. You draw the line on tops and connect it and look for a breakout. It'd be weird here because it just went sideways. You don't normally see that, but that's kind of cool. So, but anyway, this trend line seems to be holding. So as long as this one doesn't break, we look promising to try to go to more upside. And even the averages look gorgeous. And well, on the 2 hour, man, stochastics look ready to rip. 2 hour chart looks good. Oh, Caspa, get above that 200, get above that 9 moving average, make it official. Hey, there's Joe from TRADINGVIEW. How's it going, Joe? Been drinking some lemon water, but it tastes like alcohol. That's my favorite kind. It's my favorite kind of lemon water. That lemon water vodka. Mr. Miles, why would I trade cash the superior money for USD and inferior money? Well, I was wondering if you're going to take your profits in the Bitcoin. But more honestly, yeah, I may take some profit at 25 cents, but Casper drops under 20 cents, that profit's going back in Casper. Oh, I wouldn't blame you for that. All right, so there's a meme coin that I looked at. I don't know if we may have looked at it here on the stream, but I gotta check because I'm just going by my numbers. I'm not using index for this. I'm just going by my Phantom wallet when I'm looking at this. But it's called Motion, and I like the chart when I first saw it. I don't, you know, a meme. I'm not really that big on memes myself, but take a look at this little guy. It's over on Solana. It's one of the Solana coins. But I've been taking profits on her every time she has a good day, and she had a nice day, I thought, today, if we can never see the chart. Hello? Was anybody there? It's invisible. It is the invisible coin. Is it over here? Nope. Are you going to make my stream hard for me? I planned ahead for tonight. I really did. This was a month ago. This is 29 days. This has got the... Here we go. Same contract 29 days ago. Let's try this one. Give me a chart. What's going on here, man? For real. Why I mean got no chart? You suck, man. I'm just saying. I was just okay. Here we go. Chart. Look. What? Is this the 15 minutes? Well, I guess I sold at the right time then. Oh my goodness. Your boy nailed it. Is this? That's it. This is what, 15-minute candle? So what's been a couple of hours? It's been about 3 or 4 hours ago since I looked at it. I haven't had, you know, if I see that the suckers went up, had a good day, whatever amount of plus sign it tells me I made on that, that's what I'm taking profit. So what was this like gummy? My little gummy bag says I'm up $34 today, so I took $34 profit in gummy. And Motion, where are you, Motion? I mean, I know they're doing good because my thing's up. Motion. It's the same one, right? Yeah. I guess it is. I don't know. I took profit on it. I only got 20 bucks in it now, so whatever that was. Okay, Motion. Let me just check out the other one real quick. Same contract. It's got to be the same thing, right? Now, why does this look so different? Oh, well, put it on the 15-minute. Motion and Solana. Okay. Well, let's see. What was it I saw that was so special on this little guy? I think it was just the juicy rounded bottoms. But okay, well, anyway, Nothing spectacular to see here right now. Looks like we had the move already. Unless you want to take a chance on motion. I know nothing about this, but she looked like she could do a pump, and I guess I just got lucky on that one, I guess. All right, well, I thought I had something really amazing. I do want to look at Costco hot dog. Costco hot dog on Solana.
No fue necesario. Yo siempre he sido el líder natural, listo para todo como un general. Soy un maceo, te voy a liberar. Te juro que
I noticed she's going up. This is a 4-hour chart. Nice little bottom area. 2 touches there. Doubled down on it. Looks like that might. Oh, now we just got to get past this little guy. So 4 cents for Costco hot dog. That would be cool. Was the trend line? Oh, you do kind of work there a little bit. So whether you see this as a vertical range or a slightly slanted one, appears that 6.8 cents would also come into factor there. Check for a little confluence. 618 right there. And this one at 4.8. If we move it, oh, just screw that up, road dog. Let's draw this little guy right there. I think that makes a really good target. 4.8 cents for Costco hot dog. What would she be doing if she made it up there? 30% gains, 47% gains. If she made it all the way up here, that'd be cool. What is that? 100% gains. Moonbagia. That's what I would do. Gummy is also doing pretty good. I think I'm gonna try to see that one over here. Somebody screwed that up. Let's check out Gummy on MexC. Okay, looks like we got it here on the 2-hour. What been going on, Gummy? She's been on an uptrend, higher highs, higher lows, got up to target of 12 cents there. Nailed it! That was 8 o'clock this morning. Right now, she's broken my trend line. Looks like. I don't know. Let's test it out. Have you? Oh, you flirting with it. You did. You wicked down. You know you poked a hole in the wall. You're below my non-moving average. You know you're thinking about coming down. Ichimoku Cloud says I might have a fastball for you. Playing that old red dot, green dot over here on Market Cipher, but I'm looking at the money flow. Is it going to curve down? Money flow curves down. That's not the greatest sign. Stochastics are at the bottom. We need a pump up, but she break the trend line. That's no bueno. She break the trend line. No bueno. Somebody, oh, she already did that. Well, that would suck. That would kind of mean 7 cents. But this area at the 618 and the 21 moving average does not hold. It can. No guarantees. There's always this 200 moving average down here where below that 200 moving average, we still have the 100 and the 50 weighing us down. Yet the 50 is starting to work its way up closer, so don't really have the official buy signal just yet on this time frame when those two cross. So maybe we get a pullback, retest either of these areas. We'll break that trend line, I would say. Yes, we may. Mr. Miles says, "Are you buying any of the Caspa memes this coming month?" I might. I've seen something about a Dex. I just don't know how to get to it yet. I haven't played around with any of I need to explore, get more familiar with it. But yeah, I need to do that soon so I can be on top of it when it happens. Mr. Miles says I'm very tempted to pick up too. Yeah, my degen will want to try a little bit of it, I'm sure. Slinda says just take profit and buy back more Caspa. I like getting more Caspa. I've been pulling out Caspa from my CoinEx account, and so my Caspa bag over there is growing, but I'm still doing good. But I've almost pulled out everything I put in there, and so I'm looking for any chances at all for pullbacks to grow that bag again. Just keep on growing it. Hey, Justin Crypto, how's it going? Have you looked at Caspa? Yeah, we have looked at Caspa. We looked at it on the dollar and against Bitcoin both. So KRC20 is coming next week. Can't wait to buy some Caspa memes. That's what. Well, I'm late to the party. You guys have been talking about it for a minute. I'm just now finding out about it. You mean Costa, right? Costa, the wonderful moon coin. Wow, Motion looks like it got car sick. It did good before it went down. It may miss some Solana on that little pump. I guess I got lucky on that. And I wouldn't chart it at all. I was just going, hey, you're up. I'm taking profit on these. And when these meme coins up in my wallet, I'm just selling off a portion of them. Usually whatever it's up that day. Justin says everyone's FOMO into Caspa. It's inevitable. That's a good thing. I'm going to use my profits to start a boat chain store called Casco. Costco. That's funny. That's funny. Joe said, just FOMO'd into Caspa 3x leverage. Straight got me mugging. Grimmer says, PBR. Let's take a look at that. I haven't looked at that one in a minute. I used to have some of that. The old Pat's Blue Ribbon. Let's zoom out. What are we listening to? I mean, I like it. I'm cool with it, but makes me feel like an old fart sometimes. But what's going on here? Okay, I gotta move these things out of the way. Okay. Hey, I don't know when this happened, but I'm gonna say nailed it. Hey, wait, I didn't nail it. They went way past. Oh, looky there. Oh, gosh darn it. Come on, PBR. Maybe I gotta tighten up my measure move. I came within 0.02 cents of it. God, I suck. Thomas McCaskey, I want a refund. Oh, and look, my Fibonacci missed it. You're slipping, road dog. What's nailed it? Close enough for horseshoes, what I say. Ooh, baby. Can we clear that now? So we got all that. That's cool. Measure move. Might there be a lesson to tighten up my measure moves? Could be. I don't know. But remember, all this stuff is a zone. So I hope I always make that clear whenever I draw these lines. That anytime you see any line, you see the guys that do TA like this, you need to think this. I'm too lazy to do it. It's just easier for me to draw a line than for me to draw these little. But that anytime there's a line, you need to look at it that way. There's some give and take on both sides. Look at it as a big old fuzzy line, and that allows you to front run so you don't miss anything. I would hate to thought I'm gonna. Some newbie come on here. I'm gonna go with that exact penny for Road Dog and put my targets right there, and that didn't hit. And you suck. And I'm like, dude, these are just ideas. I'm just showing you the tools and what the tools and the things say, and if they hit, it's really them. Oh, Joe, that just kind of brings to mind the little conversation from Joe's stream earlier today. When I say about calling things, speaking from me, that's how I feel. If like something like this, I don't want to see the YouTubers come out and say, look, we called this, I called this. You know, I mean, Big Boy's got a thumbnail right now. I called this, or whatever he's talking about. I called this bottom, I called this move, I called this move. If you'd been in my trading group, you were, you know, and then that's where I have an issue, because I'm like, well, yeah, because I can sit here and do all this TA and get all these great little moves and everything, but I didn't put my money on it. I didn't make that call. I didn't make that trade. I didn't do that. So, and it just feels like the gurus out there come out like, yeah, like we just made all kinds of gains, and you know, no, you didn't. Somebody else might have, but you didn't. Because you see them like do their live trades and their setups, and yeah, they don't take it at all. Because I'm at the point on the 1 minute chart, I think they're kind of uncertain what's going to happen, but so they don't get into the trade. But if it goes up, and then like, yes, and how many people here made money with my, you know, I'm like, well, dude, why should they take in your call? Because any other time you tell them, well, no, you shouldn't take my call. I'm just a guy on there. I know nothing but the fact of my own ignorance. And that's usually when it's going the other. I mean, I don't know. It's that kind of thing is kind of makes me turn that way. That's my 2 cents on it. But yeah, anytime I get something that hits, I'm going to go, nailed it. That is always going to happen, ladies and gentlemen. And then I forget about it 5 minutes later, man. I don't know. I don't keep up with it. I don't have to go around. I don't feel the need to go around saying I called this and I called that, and I just don't. I don't need that. And I guess some people do a lot. Appears like that validation. I mean, I just do what I've learned to do, and watch it do what it's supposed to do most of the time, not always, but enough to give me an edge to where I can use it to make money. And that's what's so beautiful about it. Nothing that we do is 100% anyway, but it just gives us an edge, and that's what you need. You need that in Vegas. You need that everywhere. You need that definitely in the stock market. Let's say it's not gambling, but hell, I can't tell the difference the way that they run. It looks like a damn casino. A house is favored for the house on Wall Street, and these exchanges ain't hurting. That was a nice bump up to that 0.5. And that's a rule from Charles Dow that when you get a strong impulse move that you can expect a retracement back to the 50% level. That's his theory, but then that's why we have the 0.5 on our Fibonacci chart. It's not a Fibonacci number. The 50%. Is it? It's not, yeah. Watch me be proven wrong on that. Gosh, I thought anyway, I'm sitting here mumbling to myself, identifying what I call a accumulation area, which we're back in for PBR. So she's got the possibilities of coming down lower, sad to say. Or does she? Because she's there. And I mean, dang it. This is an 886 retracement. That's normally as steep as we see for a higher low. Normally we can usually say, and here in this case, it's taking it a long time, but that's normally where we can see a bounce. That's where I would expect a bounce. If we didn't bounce from there, then I'm looking at this guy. And that's at -3 cents, so that can't happen. Nor can this guy at -0.05. So we really got to bounce off of there or come all the way back to 0.2 cents. Which also could happen, but that would... could it? Have you got something weird going on here? Let me look. Sometimes we talk about Bart Simpson's butt crack. Well, it's a harmonic thing that happens to make that butt crack, and I'm just kind of curious if... Do you qualify as a butt crack? Let me do a butt crack check real quick here on PBR. And snap on my rubber gloves. I don't. Nah. Okay. I don't think so. I think we're safe. What I don't want to, what would be sad to see is if she came down and did something like this for a long time, and then it's a big opportunity cost to be in this coin if she's hanging around 2 to 3 cents. I mean, there's a lot of opportunity here, though. I mean, just from where we are back up to this, that's 120%, so that's nothing to it's not shabby for the gains that it can get getting back to where it needs to. So this is actually a great target, but you can see when she really gets going, she just shoots right past it. So for this one, let me guess the targets I'd be looking for we'll do the fibbies. Because at the height, I would not expect her to come back past this area or this area if she starts to do something crazy like this. And then of course you also always got your 618. That's a great one to always put up there, because you usually get a reaction. There. And then of course we got our other normal ones. 382 is also coming up here, and we need that. So I would be looking, all these sell, that's a lot of sell pressure here. So if she does get up there, I would expect another wick of people just dumping this again. But that could be very profitable to get a 300% gain, just to have your limit orders set to where they could be getting. Maybe just set one right back equal with this one. What's a 25 cents? That's just how I would play it if I were in it. If I already had a position, or even if I was going to try to play this one. And there's no guarantees that this will happen for, this is weeks. I mean, this was April of last year when she spiked up. This was December. This was April this year. When is, I can't even see what we got. Maybe October, November before it does it again. So you've got to kind of weigh that in too, in my personal opinion. Let's go down to the 4-hour time frame and see what that looks like. Still below the 200 moving average, so getting closer to it. Now she can regain that. That will be the first step's recovery. Ichimoku cloud's kind of thick and red, but it's also kind of narrowed and pointy down here. So that's not the greatest sign I'd like to see from that. I'd like to see us get into the cloud and then pop out on the other side. Otherwise, we could dip under it and this thing can continue red and we just keep going down. So we don't want to see that. Trend line wise, not liking that. And that was a retest. Looks like a bearish retest. And I'm going by these candle bodies over here. They cut through those, but retest perfectly there. She's not looking. She should bounce from this area. We determined that, but so don't look. It looks like she's going to take a while. Aerodrome finally went north today. It's about time. North from a bottle, I guess, right? Is this it? Aerodrome, right? Well, at least she hasn't continued south just yet. I know where it's... The 9 and the 21, are they going to cross? Or can price jump up here and persuade it to turn around, do a U-turn? 50's coming down too. MACD on the daily, flip bearish, but it's a shallow cross. That means the sell pressure, the buy pressure kind of helped negate some of that. What do we got here? I'm not convinced that we don't have more downside for Arrow. I think we might see 96 cents come from this guy. I would love to see us go in this cloud, but kind of the same thing here is starting to get a little down and shallow squeezing over here, if you can actually see it. She flattens off and then she does the less little number. And she can keep doing that and get red and price can go under it. So I don't want to say, if we touch it, that would be a good sign. And so we'd have to get up above our non-moving average and hopefully even above the 50 and get in there. And so she can grab us and throw us out over above a green cloud. That would be ideal. I do Ichimoku cloud unconventional, by the way. I don't go by the standard thing, the way that it is taught to do it. I just use the cloud part. I don't use the Tenkin and all that. I think it's cool, but it just makes my chart really noisy, so. I think they should be polka dots and not solid clouds. Justin says I'm in a 30x long. Liquidation is 12.4. Or is that in Caspa? Caspa, baby. I did the same move when Caspa's 5 cents. She stayed 5 cents for a while. Man, I wish I'd bought more there. Famous last words. He'll say that for the next 18 months. Man, I wish I'd bought more. That's the catchphrase. Did you guys see the Jim Cramer interview with Gary Gensler? It was the first time I was impressed by Cramer. I saw a clip of it. I'd like to see the whole thing. But it looked like he was backtracking a little bit. The Gensler was. So the interpretation I watched on it, I didn't get to see the whole thing. I also saw Tucker Carlson had an interview with Nayib Bukele from El Salvador. And man, that is fascinating. And you know what impressed me the most? When they were talking about, talking about the main things that they did to clean up the country, the very first thing that they did, he said it unofficially. I mean, he gave the official record and then gave the unofficial record about what he was. They said unofficially it was a miracle. They went in there and they prayed. First thing that they did was prayed. It turns out that everybody in their the government thing, that they're believers, and they got together and they had no problems doing it. And I think that's amazing. Because it seems to be almost a crime to do things like that. That used to be so normal here in the United States. It's not that everybody has to do it, but there's like no tolerance for it. So it was refreshing to see that a country, when they put God first, that they worked a miracle and cleaned up the murder capital of the world and made it one of the safest countries in the United States, or in the world, safer than the United States. And when I heard him openly proclaim that they put God first, I thought that was amazing. That takes a lot of balls to say something like that, especially if you're a country leader in this day and age. So my respect to Mr. Bukele and the amazing thing that he's doing. It's not a political channel. I just thought I'd throw that out there. We should do a TA reaction channel. Ooh, that would be interesting. I bet there'd be a lot of cup and handle talk on that. Trade, Joe says, I sold my Arrow about 2 or 3 weeks ago. Want to get back in and just trade it. Market cap is only 521 million. Well, since you can now, I do base on Uniswap, that's kind of taken some of it away from Arrow, I think. Taking away some of its thunder. I'm using Uniswap. Crypto 420 says, I just finished watching. It's a great interview. Man, I'm about 20 minutes into it, so I haven't seen the rest of it, but I think it's fascinating. What the heck is Jupiter doing, dog? It looked like it was down when I was looking at my wallet. I hadn't actually checked on it. What is it doing? No. Okay, she's doing okay. So she's $1.16. Let's go to the smaller time frame. Is this happening now? She's flagging out, right? Time to make the donuts. Looks like we got a trend line we broke back into. Let's zoom back out. Tighten up our lines and all this stuff. So, last it's only recently that, well, I of course we'd be marking conditions to explain it, but I'm not intentionally looking to draw megaphone patterns everywhere. That's just what we got when I actually connect the dots when I zoom out. They just happen. That's what I see when it looks like you only know megaphone patterns. That's just what it does. Unless you want us to go for every little head and shoulder, bottom, blah, 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 blah in the thing. I have nothing against head and shoulders. That just seems like most people their definitions are different than mine. I have tighter definitions for some of that stuff. I see a lot of people, the instructors that are kind of, when I see them as pattern traders and they force patterns like shoulder, head and shoulder, and there's no neckline here unless you wanted to do some kind of crazy, but then that's not really what you're supposed to be looking for. I mean, they can be slanted, but if you got that, you've also got a different pattern, you know? I mean, depending on what your system for drawing trend lines. I don't know, but I mean, it was whatever works and makes sense for most people, but I just got rules that I follow Thomas Bukowski's rules. This one technically is, it's not and you know, I guess, you know, we're kind of like scientists. You know, this are doctors. You throw 8 of them into a room and you get 9 different opinions. So, you know, you can expect that. Everybody looks at things different. Sometimes oddly the same in a different way, different method to get to the same place. That happens a lot. You will see that a lot. You will see whatever Elliott wave, this, that, whatever theory of measure move, this, that, and yet you can sometimes see a lot of them. We will still get to the same destination points right around the same areas, and it's crazy how that works. All right, so Jupiter, still looking for 141 out of that, but this trend line is going to be a little bit of a headache. Where's that coming in at right now? Right above price is about 134, 135-ish. Might have a hiccup, but I like this. If we're coming back above this trend line, maybe we'll get a stronger move. Maybe we'll come up around this area about 150. I need to trying to keep up with the chat more. I wish I could paste this over here where it would just stay here in the corner where I could see it all the time. Senda says Arrow apparently gives big staking rewards. I don't know. I need to check some of that stuff out. There's a lot of stuff in this space that I would like to be more active in, but I'm just not. I don't have the BRC20s, and you know, we got the Caspa stuff coming up, which I do want to look into that. But the base stuff and all that, I mean, I'm playing a little, but I'm not really going all out in all this stuff. And my Xverse wallet, where I'm doing the stacks, all of that stuff, it's full of meme coins I didn't even buy. They just airdrop that stuff. I got a bunch of meme coins over there just constantly airdrop. I'm like, I can't even see what I've purchased because it's just spammed up with all these meme coins, and there's no value on them. And I'm sure there got to be a price. It'd be worth something at some point, but hopefully, if that's the hot thing. Oh, I want to look at, was this one? I've been looking at Musk, Elon Musk, with the whole Tucker Carlson type thing. I think it might have had a nice day today. It looked like it was up a little bit. Looks like she's up 16%. The Musk corn. We told you here first on this channel. So if you're Monarch, you would have known it 3 days before it came out. I think we all just talk about it when we learn from them. The real thing is, man, on this channel and any other channel, a lot of the really good gems I've found, and why I like the interaction, because I saw this on other channels like Dub Digital's channel. Some of the best gem picks I ever found. They're from the community, man. People sharing. And I've even heard that on some of the bigger channels, even though sometimes they'll admit that, and then sometimes they got that special knowledge that you can only get with the $99 a month. So this is a shooter, isn't it? We got a symmetrical triangle, which I hate. I'm not a big fan of this idea at all. But that's if I connect these dots. Now you can also do this little guy. Will this make you feel better? It's got a 70% chance to break up now. So if I do step out, this is what I do. Seriously, this one does have a 70% chance to break to the upside. The falling, It's a bullish megaphone, actually. Will it? It's trying. They get a partial decline. That's what we look for. That means it gets an area where it'll level out without coming down to the... It does not... Price does not decline all the way back down to the bottom there. That's what a partial decline means. Finds an area, finds support. And that's usually the precursor for it breaking out. So therefore, you start getting these little shapes like a shoulder, head, and a shoulder, which I don't... It doesn't satisfy my requirements, but still. Might we get a breakout from this little guy? I'm gonna do it conservative from this swing high there and suggest if it hits that it might come up here. So we might have that. Swing high to swing low. Talk about where price is gonna go. Oh, So this will adjust from wherever it breaks out, but listen, man, I'm always going to love this target no matter what. That's the square root of the 618 right there, 127. For you guys that didn't know, it's a magical number, just as magical as the 618. Before I figured out all this and learned and studied more of the fib stuff, I knew about the 272, but I didn't understand why. And it took me a long time to figure that out, but I kept seeing it and back testing it, and it always came into play. And but not always. And you have to learn, like, well, when does it come into play? I didn't quite understand those concepts at that time. I did talk about that in the members only video where I went over the Fibs masterclass and stuff. We discussed that. Anybody's interested, I don't want to have to go through all the details on the night after night or anything. But there's a method to the madness. So might we see those areas at 0.0047, 0.0049 out of Musk? How much of a gain would that be if we get a breakout? We're currently sitting, maybe a nice 120, 136% gain. Or she could just be making a big old fat juicy double bottom. Actually, I think this one might be kind of cool though. Respecting this trend line, definitely. So you do have your symmetrical triangle, which I don't trust them at all. The only way I've ever found to deal with the symmetrical triangle, man, is just to extend those lines out, exit out. That's what I say. There's a coin that's hot, and I know nothing about it, but I want to learn something about it. It's called MCoin. Am I on the right place? No. I need to. Where we at? Let's just go over here. Let's see what Tokenmetrics says about it. MCoin. This one's got a $230 million market cap. All-time high is 275. It's at 130 right now. 176 million circulating supply. 500 million total supply. Technical analysis grade is 81.99%, so it's got a high TA grade, so they must have something juicy going on in the charts. A little of nothing else over here. I just want a description. What is it? M20 Chain, the crypto economy accelerator. M20 Chain is a blockchain and Web3 ecosystem that aims to integrate and connect the traditional world to provide a seamless user experience. Okay. Let's take a look at the chart. What's your roadmap? MCoin launch. Well, this is last year. Last year. TradeBit final version, blah blah blah. This year. Q1, Q2, use cases, NFT marketplace, DAO governments. So we got another layer 1. Anyways, take a look and see if we can find it. MCoin. MexC's got it. Okay, yeah, that's why she's hot today. She's up testing that 200 moving average. It had a nice move. over the last 2 days. Looks like that's 30%. That's not bad. Not uncommon. Just what's his angle? Interesantes. Measure move came close to the 618. We're above the 236 area, which nailed that little top right there. I love the fibs. Well, congratulations, you've just graduated accumulation. Can you keep it up? Can you maintain it here on the daily chart? Make it up to your next little target area of $1.49. I think she can skip through this, and woo, this one looks nice actually. I feel like this guy. There's not a whole lot there to stop us until we get back up here while this congestion is. It's a little short before it, so between the 618 and 786 looks kind of very interesting for some possible take profit targets. 232 could be on the radar. $1.97 definitely looks like it could be on the radar. And this little guy right here, 148, 149 for M coin could be on the radar. From this area, what is that? 20%. 58%, possibly 86%. Interesting. A little lackluster. That's the interesting thing of volume there. Lots of very shallow little candles there. That's always kind of weird. Nice big spikes there without any volume behind it. That's kind of wild. Stochastics are topped out, but you got your green dot, which happened a few days ago. For whatever, take that for however you will. This looks cool. Looks like we might just be getting started with the MACD. That would be hopeful. Ichimoku Cloud looks really promising on the daily, so I just don't see why. What is after all this, and then we get this, and I'm like, It's like the order book has just started moving its sell orders up here and just waiting for price to come up to meet it instead of trying to put sell pressure down. Rising price, falling volume. Here on the 4 hour, flipping to the green on money flow. That's a good sign. No matter how you look at it, that's good. Really, all you can do in these situations is respect the trend line here to there, and see if you can get 3 humps before she dumps. That's what I would suggest. I don't, so to get in, if somebody want to get in on this, she already broke out from this area, right? The only way that I would consider it is if she touched this trend line again, and she's not touching it. That's the only time I would buy against this trend line. Otherwise, sayonara, baby. She, the best place was down here at 99 cents. I like to buy them on bottoms or before breakouts. I don't like necessarily buying them when they're on their way up.
Start talking, girl, you're walking circles through my mind, and it seems like every day just gets better when you're mine. When you love now and forever, no matter hurt, you are the cure. Like a spring, you keep me healthy.
Log is great for long-term view macro. It is, but for you pattern traders out there, You want to make sure that you don't use log. You want to use linear for your pattern trades if you're taking measured moves, or else you'll be in for some really surprising results if you don't do that. So if you have tried pattern trading and you thought, oh, this sucks, this makes no sense, maybe you're on log scale. It's just a thought. They used to trip me up, man. I'd take a measured move and I'd move it up and it would shrink, and I was like, what the hell's going on here? Take a look at Nosana. Yes, baby. Come back from the dead. What's this? The Aurora Borealis? What are you doing here? Broke the trend line, came down and found a bottom and decided to go the other way. Just like a true altcoin should. Look at that beautiful W neckline, which fell through, man. That was sad. So Nosana, how far did you come down? 350? Not bad for you. How were you up before? 559? Yeah, that hurt some people. Trendline strategy? Trendline strategy? Trendline strategy? Bonus trendline for that profit taking. Or deal. So you usually have like your angles. You know, you got your flat 0 where we're going sideways. You got your 45, which is your good move. It's your good solid move. Then you got your 62, which is going up. Now and then out of that, you got your 90. Or did I do that wrong? This is 90, 45. Gosh darn it. Get your angles right, Road Dog. Gosh darn it. Anyway. The only way that you can go from here is straight up, so this looks like good ones when you see them deviate from your 45-degree angles. To follow that one until it breaks to take profit, or if it just gets away from it real crazy. Like when it gets away from the 21 moving average, it's a subjective thing, but you eyeball it that way too if you want it. Or go to a smaller time frame and do the same thing. Like on this little guy, well, you could actually spread it out and there's another deviation. Boom, great place to sell. Boom, great place to buy back. I'm just saying. I think I've talked about this enough where I think I've gotten the gist of it out there, where I don't have to keep repeating this, but that's my getting out how I kind of track these things, especially if I'm really paying attention, like on day trades or something like that, where I really got to pay attention to when I get in and get out. That's my key. That's made a big difference for me. You guys do what you want to do. Nosana 596. You coming back into the picture? I think so. Could you come up and retest this trend line? It's usually what you try to do. Let's zoom back out to the daily here. Oh, I've already got it already up there. Okay, well, I'm sticking with that. Still sticking for that 596 technically target for Nosana. And oh, don't move it. Put it back. Okay. And that guy's why would it? I feel like my trend line got moved. How dare you? Moving averages look nice for the bigger ones. Pretty sweet. I really like this. I like the flip over here on the MACD on the daily. We're just getting started for some upside. Sounds as if it's free. Last time we did that was here on this move. So, Mom, we get another one. I'm just saying. Nosana, you've been in it. It's a cool. Look at Injective. Nobody talks about it right now. That's usually a good time to look at them when nobody's talking about it. What's that cloud doing? Cloud looking scary. What are you doing? Cloud looked freaky for it. We're in it. I like that, but she can turn around, but I don't like that. INJ. Can you make it past $27, $28? Can you get past 28? That would be awesome. Boom. Retest bearishly. Boom, bearish retest. Can you make it up there this time? For the love of God, can you do it? Do we have any confluence? Oh, that's wishful, but I guess that's, yeah, I see a little something there. Ooh, that's pressing it, baby. That's really pressing it on that angle. I don't know if that angle's going to hold. It's a 45. I would love to see $30, $32 again out of INJ. Shoulder, head and shoulder. It could be. There's a bottom. This is where I expect to see these things, not on tops. Although we got, to have it at a lower place like this makes more sense than to shoulder, head and shoulder here. But still, what are you going to say if you got something that comes up and actually breaks out? How are you going to say it? Perhaps it was a cup and handle. You can start seeing whatever you want to see in these patterns if you look at them too long. I'm just saying. That's why I think it's good to have rules, and that's why I like Thomas Bukowski, because he has some set rules. It makes more sense to me to go by something that has some rules and guidelines, what to look for. And he'll even break down on a lot of these patterns what to look for when they bust or when they don't play out, how that they usually fail. And, you know, he gives you some idea. Thomas Bukowski is really cool. So that's what's made a difference to me in pattern trading, is going by having some rules other than, well, this one has head and shoulder fills, or this is cup and handle-ish. You know, that doesn't help me a dang thing, but give me some solid guidelines trying to say, well, yeah, it meets this criteria, doesn't quite meet that. Okay, I'm going to watch it, back off. It may not play. It's that kind of thing, that kind of thinking that helps make this stuff make sense to me. That's what I needed. That's what worked for me. It may not work for maybe, you know, some people just need the, well, it's got the cup and handle feel. It's got the head and shoulder feels. So that's why I talk about Thomas Bukowski a lot. Because it really did make a difference after going over and learning his perspective on pattern trading, rather than what's been, you know, what you see repeatedly regurgitated a lot on YouTube, because a lot of YouTubers are just learning from other YouTubers. It's just, it's an echo chamber. It can be an echo chamber. So I think it's good to see people that maybe learn some things from traditional things. Mitch Ray traditionally trained, or, you know, uses traditional TA. That traditional stuff you need, and that's a big good thing about Joe. He's got the support, resistance, and trend lines. You got to have that. You build upon that, and he does a really good job of teaching that, I think. Shout out to Joe. If you're not subscribed to him, you go check him out. Help him get that 1,000 subscribers. He's almost there. He's growing a lot faster than I did. It took me a long time. I've been doing this for 2 years and still ain't got up to 2,000 subs yet. But I'm a little different. Some people don't like the way I look. Yeah, I know. It seems so cliche, but... And that's got a candle body, so I can't ignore the candle body. I got to touch the candle bodies. You see a nice body, you got to touch it. Don't do it, you'll get sued. Yeah, don't do it in real life. That might make you lose your crypto. You don't want to do that. 70% chance for this particular pattern, local pattern, break to the upside. Come back up to this area, hopefully. They don't have the greatest measure move, but it does get us probably at least back up to here, depending on where it breaks out. So if that's another thing. If you see somebody do a measure move for a pattern and it hadn't broke out, it's not the official measure move. You got to put it where it breaks out to be a little more accurate in it. And we're kind of looking back in these areas. I'll go ahead and draw it where I've got it. And you got to treat them as a zone. You can't go to the penny on them because, gosh, sorry, it's not that dang accurate. Can be. It's amazing when you see things nail it, but there's no guarantees. But what you can do to help you nail it is to look for confluence, like that measure move being really close to the 618. I like that. I'm not going to move my measurement, but I like it being at that 618. I think that 618, or that not 618, the 886 there is a very faint purple line I got right here. Coming in right here. So probably can't even see it. I would change, probably need to change the color. I don't think it will change it on everything though. Make her a little bit more visible there. Right there. So the old standard one still applying. The 618 here at $22.73. Even this 786 area, those are two juicy top profit taking areas. If you got a shorter term strategy or something, those are great. So this is actually almost ripe for a trade setup for real. This is prime. It's at $17 right now. Inverted head and shoulder on the bottom. You can see them as at transition when we're coming out of a channel or something. You can see this a lot. It's kind of wicky-wacky, but yeah, she can qualify. Meets my definition. Technically, though, if I were to get critical on this, I'm on the daily. It wicks up there, so we got a shoulder ahead, but wouldn't this be the other shoulder? And then if this one comes down, wouldn't that have busted it? Yeah, technically this is a busted one. I'm just saying, it made a lower low than a shoulder. Unless you wanted to also the complex head and shoulder. Well, now what the hell are we talking about now? A shoulder, another shoulder ahead, a shoulder, another shoulder. Oh my God, why don't we just make this more complicated? Screw that, I'm just drawing trend lines. So, to avoid all that, or just to one up that argument, just zoom out and go with this guy and say, let's do it this way. That's my take. Your mileage may vary. Mileage may vary. I'm trying to be a little bit more articulate. I need to slow down my speech when I would do a playback. Man, I talk fast. The things that go on in my head are going on a lot faster than how they come out, and it's crazy when I see it played back, because to me, I think I'm going slow. And then when I hear myself, I'm so I want to take a look at this. What was it? Oh man, did you just forget it? This one's a new coin called BB. Is it BookieBot? It's something with Binance. I think it's a new listing. Let's see if we can find out something about it. This is kind of a new deal. It was over on in the categories that, and you can probably see it over here. Nah, they don't have the same categories over here, but we'll look it up. CoinGecko had it under their categories for Binance. Something. Is it BounceBit? It had a bigger yeah, I think this is it. It had a bigger market cap. Let's see what it says about it. Hey, Spanky! Haha, can I steal that? Oh. Excuse me, I'm stealing. Where can I put you? Where I can find... Listen to that voice within, gotta know yourself. Don't worry about a thing, everything is going well. I will lose you if I put you there. I'm just gonna put you alright, I'll say that. I like Spanky. Anyway, back to Squirrel! BounceBit pioneers CDFI infrastructure, offering institutional grade yield products, restaking cases, and CDFI as a service, making high yield opportunities accessible. It's a dual token POS layer 1 secured by BTC and BB leverages Bitcoin. I'm going to make sure this is the one that's on Binance. Let's go to CoinGecko. That's where I saw it. categories. Come on, baby. I believe it was here. Clearly, I've got to take better notes. It's got to be Mount. It's got to be this one. Well, okay, tell me who's got it. Is Binance doesn't have it. Okay, is it? All right. Let's just take a quick look at the chart, see if there's anything. It looked like it was doing something today. And I guess it was. So it's my understanding it's something hooked up with Binance. And I don't know the deals. I was trying to find it out, but clearly I should have read more. I just saw that it looked like a nice new token to chart. Looks like we're in a channel. How did you guess that? Tighten up my channel idea. And just the channel idea itself, just bump over one more candle and just plop a little target at the top of that candle. Could be possibly looking at 110 there. Interesting idea. Take a look at Pixel. I meant to look at that one the other night. Oh, I guess maybe we did look at it. The Adam and Eve bottom pattern. At least this one is at a bottom. That's cool. Or a bottom area, so that can count. So you can look at this two different ways, which I think is interesting. But I mean, it is a pattern. You play it as a pattern. Identify it and recognize it and take the measure move for it, put it there. Takes us up to this area at 63 cents. Or you can also just look at it as being, you know, the channel that it is, which it is. And I mentioned this before, but when I first, I mean, before I even got into a trading group or anything, I was reading about all this stuff and pattern trading and trying to figure out if that's what I wanted to get into or not. I saw some OGs. They're talking about just, man, it just breaks all down the triangles and triangles and channels. And I was like, no, it can't be that easy. It's got to be, because there's all these other little things, all these things that you memorize and by gosh, they're right. If you really zoom out, it is just triangles and channels. I mean, if you want to simplify it, that's my take. I mean, we can get down to all the nitty gritty patterns. Obviously, Bukowski breaks them all down, but still, I mean, it's triangles. And assign a probability to them. Fairly accurate, but it gets you a little edge to look for. I mean, it at least tells me which ones I don't want to play with. I know I don't like symmetrical triangles. I don't like descending or ascending or descending triangles because they usually suck a lot of times too. So, I don't know. I respect it. Moneymaker says, if you notice that Bitcoin has moved up over 10% in the last 3 times the stochastic RSI crossed bullish under the 20 on the daily. This would bring price to approximately 76K if it plays out this time. Bitcoin, you're talking about Bitcoin on the daily? I haven't really paid attention to the stochastics. Are they reset on the daily? Is that what? Let's see what you were talking about again. Have you noticed that Bitcoin's moved upward in terms of the stochastic RSI crossed bullish under the 20? So when you said they crossed bullish under the 20 on the daily, this is stochastics. I would interpret it to mean at the 20% mark that was just crossing at the bottom area, but I'm seeing it at the top, so I may not be understanding your question. But what I thought you'd say is if they were bottom out here and we were at this area that we're at now and they're getting ready to cross the 20% area, that would be bullish as all get out. But That's what I thought you were saying, but I'm not seeing it on here. So maybe I misunderstood it. I do like what I'm seeing here. Doesn't mean this will be the end all be all move. It could just be a stutter move here on the MACD. Or maybe it could turn into something nicer. Might be something sideways, might be something nice. Gotta check the log chart for those unicorns, says Sam. Have you seen anything which may support this? Oh, what we're just talking about? I think I need Moneymaker says, well, okay, oh, did I address it or did I misunderstand it? Or... What I like, and I mean, you won't find any prices at the top. You'll find the opposite when prices at the top. So here, okay, so what I like is when the stochastics and the RSI are bottom out on the bottom. And the opposite that what you have to watch out for is when you have your stochastics on your bigger time frames topped out. Luckily, you can see that we still got a lot of ways that we can go for a real top out on Bitcoin. It's because she can get way up crazy around 90% or higher. And so the 70% mark is when we start getting overheated on the RSI, and that's technically when, and you can adjust these settings if you want, but the general rule is after RSI does its thing, and like over here when it comes back and breaks that area, that's your sell signal. When it comes back and passes that line, that's supposed to be your sell signal, and that's what the bots do. I know that for a fact. That trade that strategy. But we got lots more room that can come up. But what I was trying to say, if you see the area like where it's topped up, RSI is at a top and stochastics are also at a top, that's usually meaning your price is at a top too and getting ready to. So on a larger time frame, that's something when we start getting toward wondering where the top of the bull market is, start paying attention to your weekly and dailies especially. Maybe you can throw your monthly in there. Look for those signs of all your indicators being topped out on those bigger time frames. And that will help you kind of figure out, man, I need to be paying myself more right now. And they'll help you avoid riding the wave all the way, the roller coaster all the way back down and seeing your portfolio go back, losing half your stack or more. A lot of this stuff some of you guys are familiar with. I take it that a lot of you guys are familiar with TA and have your own system and styles and you just like hanging out and looking at charts and stuff, which is, I am totally cool with that. But I do like to kind of explain some ideas and stuff for any new people, but I don't want to spend too much time going into that. I'd rather have, unless somebody asks that question, I would rather be prompted for that rather than me just spew it out all the time. But sometimes it just wants to flood out. I can't help it. V-Chain's looking a little bit more positive. Just coming up to that 200 moving average. I like that. I got a bag of V-Chain now. I made that one of my bigger bags, and I made sure that I did it when she was super cheap, and she's doing super well, and she can do a lot better. And she's lost this, so it's just, when I say she's doing super well, maybe not at this present moment. She's got some issues right now, but my personal opinion, I think this is a great one to play. And traditionally it has been. It's a little bit of a member form, but they are doing some Web3 stuff and some new stuff. I think they will be a major player. Chinese narrative too, right? Where is that swing low to swing high? You came back to where? 0.5. She's got a really, does she have a good chance? I don't want to say she has a good chance, but she's got a chance to recover this 200 moving average, reclaim it, and then this can do a U-turn and come back the way it needs to. Otherwise, we got the death cross coming, and that would be a rollover where we might see 2.7 or what have I got, 3 cents over here for a line I was too lazy to draw in probably. So V-Chain lost his major trend line. Be great if we break back into it, but too early to tell on that. I just want to see her get above the 200 moving average, reclaim that. We got the 100 up there to help us out, so she could come up to 4 cents, which would be awesome. Imagine getting this at 1 or 2 cents and selling it at 30. Because she got up 28 cents last time from these juicy areas, about 1 cent. under a penny. That was those were nice plays. She went parabolic. She could do it again. Oh, look, we got a fractal. Were we looking at something? How were we looking at this? It wasn't there. I think it would have been down here somewhere. Well, clearly the fractal didn't happen. Fractals, they're fun to play with, but there's nothing you should ever depend on. I think that's what we're looking at. This kind of idea. Well, that didn't happen. Crypto 420 says Brett. Did we look at Brett? I meant to look at Brett. I started to look at Brett, and I can't remember if I looked at Brett or not. It is on my list of things to look at tonight. If we did, we'll look at it twice. Whoa! I'm on futures. Seriously, Brett, are you up that high today? I'm on a daily chart. Are you up there? Are they doing that good? For real, for real? Brett? And you got a green dot on the daily? Brett, are you trying to rock our world? What the hell? It's not even time for me to sell you yet. What's going on, Brett? Look at all this clearing out the highs and you longs and shorts or whatever you got. The liquidity grab. Excuse me. Whenever you see them do that, you know they got something in store. So if you get liquidated on one of those moves, or you get wiped out, or what is stopped out, or whatever, it's a good time to maybe sometimes see might be a nice move coming. So here we are on the daily, getting our little deviation from this secondary trend line. How much you going to deviate? You did this one, and now you got this one. It's not a whole lot of touches. This has got most touches. Well, now you throw me off my rules, but I'll go with you as a tertiary trend line. She looks like she's trying to deviate from that. You go, Brett. I was going to take some profit on it, but if you can go, we're good. You're at 12 cents. So are at your all-time high right now. Not quite. You trying to go catch up with your all-time high. How are you looking, Brett? Is it time for me to pay myself on Brett? I don't know if I paid myself on Brett yet. Come on, Brett. Nice. Okay, Brett. Well, let's go, baby. Take a look at stacks. Guess we'll go with this Binance chart. So we're headed up toward this 200 moving average, possibly this trend line that we lost. A lot of coins we looked at, we lost their major trend lines. They're trying to come back and either get a new trajectory, or it's doubtful that it happens, but when it does, it's also awesome. Usually awesome when they break back to that trend line. It can be a really strong ass move. So we got this idea going on with a breakout and got some volume behind it. It's usually a good sign. Gosh darn it, did you not touch my trend line? I didn't nail it. I didn't nail it. I would go back to my day job. I didn't nail it. This sucks. How come you didn't nail that? Did I get sloppy, or was it something in the charts? What happened there? Swing low to swing high. It wasn't sloppy. Unless, well, I mean, I went from the very bottom. If I went here, would that have nailed it? Oh, get picky. Come on now. All right, are we going to get on a technicality here? Oh my gosh. Make sure that you go for... What the hell? That's just stupid. All right. I'm sitting here arguing. That's not even it. All right, so they wanted to go from the swing bottom to nail it there. I went from the very bottom. Get picky, Fibby. I would still, if I had to do it all over again, I'd still go from that bottom. Hell, I might even pull it from this bottom. Actually, that's why not? Other than this for that move there. But if you're going from, what would you have done? A little subjectivity here, but this would have been the true accurate move. So I guess taking this into consideration, since you did respect that, let me, should I adjust this line too? I did that from something else then. Anyway, that's not where I get my targets from anyway. I get my targets from this move. Swing high, the swing low. Tell me where price is going to go. And she's got two good ones. Actually, there's one more, but I think we're doing good on that. So SGX DAX, put that back up there. So erase the wrong one. 429, 449 possible? What was this line? Why are you there? Oh, and I didn't get the short-term targets. Expect a hiccup around $3.04. Let's go, stacks. Make that money. I got this stake because it earns me Bitcoin. Some bullish divergence going on there on the wave table. Bullish divergence also here, signifying a reverse. So looks like she might get a good move this time. You got something going on here. Oh, snap. It does respect that. It respect it. And that gives us confidence for this guy. When might you hit there? Might she hit this target somewhere around Monday, July 22nd? Let's find out. We're going to do a price prediction. I don't know. We'll play and see. Sam says, I noticed a VC pump about every 3 months. Interesting. I need to look at that. Moneymaker, what's the approximate percent of the moves? Ooh, oh, I'm way behind on that conversation. I don't know if I can recap that or not. I'm seeing between 50% and 60% in the pumps. Okay. Sam says, 106 by July 22nd, my guesstimation, but please don't listen to me. Lol. Moneymaker says, just I'm lost on this conversation. I'm sorry, man. I got a very short-term memory. You remind me, I might pick back up on the conversation, but it is 12:34. It is time for me to turn in pumpkin. Thank you so much for hanging out here. Went over a lot of coins tonight. I think I got most of them on my list. There's a few did not. Might be worth looking at, mentioning. Honorable mention. ELA, are you about to do something? Okay, nope. What was another one? Mint layer. Are you doing something? You might be trying to do something. Maybe. She's trying, but she may come back and visit this area at 24 cents again. Mint layer. I'm actually expecting her to do that. Come back and retest this area. Not quite time for mint layer. I think we looked at all the rest of them. Guys, thanks for hanging out with me. I will see you again tomorrow. I don't know if I'll do a daytime stream. Got some crazy stuff going on in the morning, but don't know. If I can swing one in about noon, I might try to do one. And definitely we'll do one around 10:30 tomorrow night's the game plan. Thanks for hanging out with me. Trade carefully, trade wisely, make that money. Don't forget to pay yourself. And protect that capital, baby. You need some dry powder when we get the big drop. There will be a big drop coming. We just don't know when. There may be more upside before we get that big drop. And you may see your portfolio just go crazy. You don't have to sell it all. You don't have to get out of everything, but you need to get out of a little bit of something of your choosing. Get some dry powder for that drop. You will thank me and thank yourself later. More than thanking yourself for doing it, and because it's really up to you. Life is easier when you have dry powder on big drops. That's what I got to say. Plan ahead. Let's make that life-changing money. Good night, everybody. Thanks for hanging out.
Come on, come here, boy. Come on. You freaky dog. I don't need to analyze. Every word that comes out is a lie. Make it look like it's so ice, ice, ice. You won't make it to the finish line. Now if you gotta know the truth was gonna let you go. You was fine, never mind, unpredictable. Feet out of the ground, you ain't no one. You a star, blow it up like supernova. In the nighttime, hit my hotline, sharing secrets.
Good night, John boy.